Big changes are on the way on Orchard Lake Road, where Fire Station Number 1 will temporarily go out of service, but when it returns, it'll be among the state-of-the-art facilities, making West Bloomfield a destination for first responders of the present and the future. Here with updates on the Fire Station Number 1 renovations is West Bloomfield Fire Chief Greg Flynn. Chief, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, I love that intro, a destination place. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. I appreciate having you on and glad to have you on to talk about this because the renovation process is now getting underway this week as Fire Station 1 makes its final preparations to undergo this massive renovation. So as we get to that point, as I mentioned, Fire Station Number 1 during this renovation, while it's not entirely tearing the building down, that building will be out of service. So I would guess the top question on the mind of those in West Bloomfield Township and the surrounding areas would be how is that personnel and the apparatus being divvied up amongst the rest of the township to continue service as is while Fire Station Number 1 is not in service?
Well, it's very difficult to make any improvements and keep service as is, Tyler. So there will be modifications. The Station 1 crew will, right now our plan is the station will be closing at the end of the week. We are ready to move into some testing for some abatement and some items. You know, when these stations were built and buildings were constructed decades ago, the asbestos and some other materials that need to be abated before we can do that renovation. All that needs to take place. So we'll be exiting late this week. That will move in. And we'll start doing that testing. But rest assured, we've been planning for this. The rescue is going to move down to Fire Station Number 2. So we'll be running 2 ambulances, 2 rescues out of Fire Station 2. And the engine crew will be moving over to Fire Station 5, where we know we have the tower. So we'll be running multiple pieces of fire suppression apparatus out of Fire Station 5.
And we know this is going to be quite a significant renovation of the fire station. It's going to bring it into more of a modern setting for your firefighters and also for the response that both West Bloomfield has in the township proper and in the Tri-Cities, but also within the Oakway Partnership as well. And so as these renovations are going on, how long on paper, hopefully with everything going exactly the way it's been planned, can we expect Fire Station Number 1 to be out of service?
I think the paper aspect has us probably about this time next year. So I think we're looking at close to a 12-month renovation process. I am confident with the team that they will achieve that mark, if not even able to kind of move that along and see a little bit more of a shorter time with that. So with any renovation, the challenge is the construction team will likely come across some things that weren't accurately depicted in the drawings or some kind of underground infrastructure that was thought to be in better condition. And then those things will have to be addressed along the way. And then whatever kind of global or kind of regional issues that develop over the course of the renovation, those things will impact the time too. But we're going to remain engaged. Would love to be able to come on to the Splash and give some updates and really keep everybody up to date on the progress and really this exciting project as they see it unfold as they pass by on Orchard Lake Road.
And it's a pretty big moment for the fire department, and it's also really significant to to represent the investment in public safety that the residents of West Bloomfield and the Tri-Cities have put into the West Bloomfield Fire Department, which also represents Keagle Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake with their fire service as well. And so among all the recent renovations that have been made and improvements, new apparatus, of course, the recent renovations at another nearby fire station. Now Fire Station Number 1 undergoes these renovations. Why was now the right time for Fire Station Number 1 to undergo some of these changes?
Fire Station 1 has been in the capital improvement plan for years now. It started probably 4 or 5 years ago with planning for a needs assessment. Then the needs assessment in the 2022-2023 range took place. And even before that, the township did a more comprehensive needs assessment throughout all of the buildings within the township, the 9 physical structures, 6 at fire, town hall, police, and water and sewer. So kind of shouldering those, the majority of those buildings, and that we use them 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Station One, built in the early 70s, and that's back when the department was a volunteer department. And the needs have changed greatly over the decades, Tyler. And Trustee Manna brought up in the meeting the dissenting vote moving forward, but he highlighted his why. And I think it's important that this isn't something that falls deaf on the fire chief or on the team that was designing. We know it's expensive to renovate a building, and we know that it's even more expensive for a multitude of reasons within government to do that. So I really want to instill a high degree of confidence with our residents that the thoughtfulness and the purposeful design components, the training tower that's going in there, how that's connecting with the community, the fire club that you've highlighted on this program. We really are looking for every single way we can take every square foot of that building and ensure that the residents know and see the value and feel that value that they're getting from those tax dollars that they trust us with. So that is not something that we take lightly, and that's why I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about the station and the things that you're highlighting here and showing some of those renderings. It's going to be a beautiful building. That's another component of it. It's in a very high vis area there on Orchard Lake Road, and it says a lot about our community when our municipal buildings are striking and speak to the presence within the community.
And then, as you mentioned, we'll get back to some of the community aspects of the plans with this renovation, but you mentioned just a moment ago that when this station was built, Fire Station number 1 and all of our other fire stations, they were occupied as a volunteer fire department. It's much different of a paradigm than when you have a full-time employee fire department that's serving not only West Bloomfield Township but several other communities as well in its main service area, and then also providing partnerships to neighboring municipalities through the Oakway Collective as well. And so as these changes are undergoing, what were some of the key elements that are going into Fire Station number 1 that we'll see come a year or so from now when it reopens that are really critical to continuing that top-notch care, top-notch service that people expect from the West Bloomfield Fire Department?
Well, a big part in delivering and meeting those expectations within the community is having all of those resources strategically placed throughout the community. And Fire Station 1 is underutilized for its ability to store caches of equipment because of its lack of space. So in the design and some of my comments and within the Planning Commission and in front of the board and with updates to come, you'll notice a mezzanine area where we're able to store equipment and things that we'll need for response throughout the community. That will include the continued placement of apparatus with the drive-through bays in that area, which make it Orchard Lake Road's access north and south within the community and into surrounding communities. The workforce impact in hitting one of our objectives of supporting our very diverse workforce, that is going to be achieved by the move that's been, you saw this in the design of Fire Station 3, where we create the individual dorm rooms where there's a sense of privacy and quiet that our first responders can have. We know this helps to encourage resilience within their, not just the space for their physical wellness, but for their emotional wellness too. The kitchen space is, speaking of physical wellness, some improvements within that living space and the food prep area and kind of where they are for 24 hours a day. Just like your kitchen is a focal point within many of our residents' homes, so too is the kitchen at the fire station. There's some nuances all around the exterior of the building. We've got a space outside now, just like people enjoy having that space to go out and enjoy the Michigan seasons. We're going to have that now at Fire Station 1, something we haven't had in the past. And then the last thing I'll highlight here in the time is the training tower, Tyler. And this is a multi-story training tower, being able to go through evolutions of rappelling down the side of the training tower, affecting rescues off of balconies. It takes you back to images of the Heckman fire. All of these things that we know are within the community, we practice how we need to play And we've built those elements into the training tower, and we've built elements into the apparatus room so we can train inside the facility year round.
And you mentioned earlier on, lastly, before we let you go, because it's on Orchard Lake Road, right in the heart of West Bloomfield Township, it is such a highly visible area near the high school, near the Crosswinds shopping mall at Orchard Lake and Lone Pine that gets so much foot traffic throughout the day. And in an area where people are walking all throughout all seasons of the year, that high visibility was also incorporated into this plan with some community spaces also on the docket for the renovations. Give us a quick overview of that and how community engagement also factored in to the new outlook for Fire Station number 1.
Well, there's definitely going to be more to come on this, because this isn't just being designed for a space for the community to engage. This is being designed for a space for the community to participate in, and building in memorial stones and things like that that will come in the weeks and months ahead as we release that. But it is what we're kind of referring to right now is the Firefighter Memorial Plaza. And you'll divert kind of off of the main sidewalk. We're going to take our 9/11 steel that has been in the training room and occasionally comes out to the big Friday night public safety hero salute game with the Lakers. That's going to be permanently placed out for the public with a very respectful stone podium and pedestal that will be on. There'll be an interactive kind of toddler size space where parents can kind of let their children out of the stroller for a little bit of break, stretch their legs, and interact with some things along that memorial walk, that plaza. So we're excited about that. It's going to be beautiful. More to come on some of those renderings as we really dial in the key components of that. But we're excited, and you're going to start seeing things happen as early as next week with the renovation starting and moving into the initial phases.
Well, we'll keep up to date with you and continue to communicate with the fire department here on Splash Live to see those renovations as they are undergoing and as the new Fire Station number 1 comes into play. Chief Flynn, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.